Hello and welcome to this GibbsCam tips and tricks video. In this video we'll take a look at creating an appearance setting mode specifically for printing. GibbsCam provides the ability to print screen on white, but you'll find that light colored features like dimensions, annotations, or even yellow unconnected geometry will be difficult or impossible to distinguish on a white background. GibbsCam also has a setting for printing black on white. But you may find with this setting that it doesn't give you enough contrast between, say, geometry and dimension lines, for example. So very early on, after GibbsCam introduced the customizable display, somewhere around 2005, I discovered a need for more contrast and control over printing on a white background. And it turns out it's really easy to do. First, I like to create or open a file that has all the elements that I'm likely to need to print. This allows me to verify what the features will look like as I modify the settings. For me, that was a file with a model, some geometry, a few dimensions, and annotations. This covered everything that, in my environment, I was likely to want on a printed drawing. Others may want to print the finished OpSim or other aspects of the GibbsCam screen, but the process is exactly the same. So with a clear idea of what all may need to be printed, I open my File menu and go to Preferences. In the display window, I can see that my display is set to GibbsCam 2015 3DS, and both my simulation settings are using the same appearance settings as the display. This appearance setting is not editable since it's a system setting. But I can go to Edit, Appearance Settings, and duplicate this setting. And I'll name it Printing. Currently, printing is exactly the same as GibbsCam 2015 3DS, but printing settings are editable. One other point to keep in mind right here is that we're not looking at the printing appearance settings right now. We can edit them, but we wouldn't see the changes as we make them. That's because we have printing selected for editing, but it is not the active mode. That mode is indicated by the red arrow. So I'll make the printing mode active, come back to Edit Display Settings, and now I can change these settings and I'll see the changes implemented as I make them. The first thing that I'll change is my background. I'll turn off the gradient setting, no need for it. And now I only need to change this color setting, and we'll make it white. Moving over to colors, we can modify the color of pretty much anything. What I'm looking for is anything that's a light color that won't contrast well with a black background. And I'll focus on the things that I said I was likely to want included on a printout. I'll leave solids alone. I think that this contrast is fine. Now CS labels are white, and I may want to include them in a printout, so just for clarity, I'll change them to black. I definitely want to include dimensions in my printouts, but I prefer some different colors for different objects, so I'll make the dimensions dark blue. You could make them black if you prefer. I use a lot of annotations in my printouts, and the operator needs to pay attention to them, so I'll make my annotations red. I'll make my connected geometry black, and my unconnected geometry maybe a bright green. Well, that may not be enough contrast. Let's go with this dark brown color. That's better. And that is everything that I want to be able to print. If you want to print other types of objects, the process is the same. Just find them in the list and change the color to what you'd like the color to be. While I'm here on the display preference page, I'll double check that I'm set up to print screen on white. So if I'm working in my normal environment, I'll get the screen looking the way that I want my print to look. And then I'll go to File and Preferences and simply change to my printing appearance settings. And lastly, I'll double check the screen to make sure it looks like what I want printed. I think I'll turn off the coordinate system grid and maybe the stock outline. And let's turn off edges as well. And I'm ready to print. I'll go to File and Print Drawing, set up the print page, and hit OK. Once I've printed, I can just go back to my normal appearance settings. We've looked at how quickly and easily you can modify your appearance settings and create custom settings specifically for printing your screen. This is really helpful if you need to print out your GibbsCam screen on a regular basis. If you found this helpful, or if you have other GibbsCam related topics you would like to see covered in one of our future videos, let us know in the comments below.